respect.
A gathering of minds on a shared vision to help foster regional cooperation and economic growth from vast mineral resources positioned as critical for the continent's emerging economies.
First of all, in South Africa, we are the largest manganese producer in the world. We also have sufficient reserves of everything ranging from cobalt to copper, but more importantly, of platinum group metals. We are the largest producer. We have 85% of the global reserve of platinum group metals. If you add Zimbabwe, we actually get to about 90%. Now, talking about Zimbabwe, they do have platinum group metals as well, but they're also strong in lithium. If you move over to Mozambique and Madagascar have the largest reserve of graphite. If you move over to the DRC produces 70% of global cobalt each year. So you can even go to Mali and you still find mineral resources. You go to Ghana, you go throughout the continent. We have mineral resources that the world needs.
South Africa has been described as the most attractive destination for critical minerals as the leader in Africa's energy transition. Mineral Resources and Energy Minister Gwede Mantashe has called for a clear roadmap on how to maximize the exploitation of the resources for value addition of developing economies.
We have had minerals, the developed economy took our minerals for song. Developed themselves, we remain poor. That is history. That's where we are now. Then it must tell us where we should move to. If it can't, history is of no use. Now, however, we need to be frank in our discussion. This means that honestly engage with the notion of local beneficiation.
The participants in the sector deliberated on green energy and local beneficiation of critical minerals.
In terms of strategies, we have to really sit back and say, how do we best make sure that as the continent, we get the resources beneficiated in the continent? So refining, making sure that you don't just get the product and export it, but you also refine it so that there's value add and beneficiation, which is something we've been talking about as a country for a long time.
The first day of the summit also saw ministers from Zimbabwe, DRC and Namibia amongst those taking part in a panel discussion on the critical minerals strategic document.
It's very important that we meet and have a discussion and network, learn from one another, collaborate, coordinate, and come up with strategies and policies that will talk about how to deal with these critical minerals. When you look at it, it's an opportunity that is created by this demand. Now that we have this opportunity, and now that we know that Africa is short of employment, we need jobs in our countries. So we must then make a decision. What do we do?
Day one of the inaugural Critical Minerals Summit seeing heightened calls for skills development and capacity building as the countries position Africa and the developing economies here to get the best out of the rare minerals, with those here believing that if gotten right, the citizens on the continent and the economies will be big winners. Katlego, Legodi, SABC News, Sandton.